You may have heard of legislation. It's called Secure Act 2.0, and it was rolled out the beginning of 2023. And it really changed the landscape for those of you that save money in your 401ks, in your SEP IRAs. And so with that rollout comes new laws and new rules around how you're putting money in your 401k. But did you know that they just put an extension on these new rules? The IRS has rolled out new deadlines, and you need to be informed about how this can impact your saving strategy. Keep it right here today. Hey everyone, Chris Heerlein here of REAP Financial, host of Retire Ready TV on KXAN and host of Wealth Radio every Saturday, 11 a.m. on News Radio KLBJ. Thank you for joining me today. If you like our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button down below. All right, let's get into this. The IRS has extended the deadline for how you're saving in your IRAs and your Roth 401ks. Today, I want to really break down the ins and outs and who this is impacting and why it needs to be on your radar. All right, so the announcement of this new rule under the Secure Act 2.0 was originally supposed to go into effect here in 2023. However, it's now been extended out to 2026. Currently, under today's laws, if you have a 401k, you're under 50, you can put up to $22,500 in these accounts. If you're over 50, you can do a catch-up contribution. That's something the IRS lets you do as you're getting older and they know you're getting close to retirement. You may want to front load those retirement accounts. But with the catch-up contribution here this year, you can do up to $30,000 if you're over 50. So keep in mind of the catch-up contribution. Now, what are the benefits utilizing the catch-up contribution? Well, obviously you can put more money in, which means more for your future retirement. You're also getting a tax deduction by putting it in. We like that. But remember, talked to you about for many years, you're likely going to have to pay tax on that money down the road. So keep that in mind. Also consider where you're saving. You don't want everything in your 401k because listen, likely your employer is only giving you up to a certain amount on that match. And you can't touch this money in your 401k until you're 59 and a half, generally without a penalty. So you may need liquidity through the years. You want to keep that in mind. So here's how the new law changes the game. Not this year, but in 2026. For you higher earners that are making over $145,000, what the government is now saying is that catch-up contribution that you're doing in your 50s, if you make over $145,000, you can no longer put that amount, the catch-up, in the traditional 401k as you've been. Now, why is that a bad thing? Well, that means that you can't get a tax deduction any longer on your catch-up contribution. But you know, when this rolled out, I was actually kind of excited about it because you can still do a catch-up contribution, but guess where it has to go now? Under the new rule, it will have to go into your Roth 401k. Now, I've talked a lot on our YouTube channel about, the differences between Roth and not. But when the money goes in the Roth 401k, you'll no longer get that tax deduction on that catch-up you were once used to. But the money can still be invested, and that money will forever grow for you tax-free. So that's a good benefit because most of you watching this, the bulk of your wealth is probably in pre-tax. We need some no tax down the road. So this new law will go into effect in 2026, and it's not like your employer's just going to do this for you. So you need to keep this in mind. We'll be talking about it much more on our broadcast on KXAN and KLBJ, but this is important because it's going to impact your tax bracket in your tax planning, quite possibly, in the years to come. It may actually dictate how you want to save and where to save in years to come. Now, under this new law, pre-tax contributions will still be made, okay? So you're still gonna get a tax deduction up to your regular contribution amount. You won't lose that, I like to be clear. Now, also keep in mind that tax rates are set to go up automatically in 2026. So that will happen in the same year. So think about this. They're gonna get rid of your tax deduction on your catch-up contribution in the same year that they're already planning on raising taxes. So again, the government's got a lot of this stuff figured out. And when you're putting all of your wealth in pre-tax accounts, it's a really, guys, it's a one-way relationship here. You're in a relationship with somebody that can dictate how much they want to take in taxes in the year that they want to do it. It just really screams the need for tax diversification. Now, believe it or not, last year, 2022, only 16% of pre-retirees are taking advantage of catch-up contributions. 16%. That may mean because they don't have the discretionary income to do so. It may mean because they're not educated, but the difference is now you're educated on the differences between regular contributions and catch-up contributions. When it comes to your 401k, yes, the Secure Act changed the game. But the Secure Act 2.0 also changed the game when it comes to things like your Medicare planning, your healthcare planning, and a lot more, things that may be of interest to you. And I want you to get your hands on our report, the Secure Act 2.0 guide, where we've gone in, we've dissected the bill and pulled out at least 10 of the main things that we know will impact our successful families at REAP Financial, and many of you watching this today. Get your hands on this great report. Email me, retire@reapfinancial.com. Retire@reapfinancial.com. My team will have it on its way to your inbox.